Hello, I'm Kay. Thank you for tuning into this channel. I've been putting on inspired music that I've been writing for since the lockdown started. But I haven't actually mentioned that I am very close to spirit, and I have seen and heard things, and I've drawn things, and I've had this gift since birth, and I need to share it because there might be those out there who will find comfort with it, and it's not right not to make it public. I'd like to just mention this one because in this recording I've picked this particular incident, but I'm going to use the channel to put on all the incidents I can think of since I was born, which is a long time ago. And but this one is for those who may have lost a child. I'd had some visitors just before lockdown, and we were sitting talking, and I just suddenly had a flash vision of a child sitting next to me. He wasn't looking at me, he was looking at the people we were having a conversation with. And I didn't recognise him, a lovely looking little boy. Looked around 10 or 11, the same age as one of my grandchildren. And he was wearing a blue school uniform jumper. Just the jumper was blue, his trousers were black. And I knew I had to particularly think it's a blue jumper. This is important. So I asked our visitors, do you recognise a child in your past who's passed over? I got the name, Alex. And I said, he also is saying Tim, and I think Dave as other names. But it was just a flash vision. But I remembered it so well. Well, they didn't recognise the child at all, so I just left it with them, maybe to think about when they went home. It was a couple of days later. I met my new neighbour. I was just coming in as she was. And she told me that she'd just had a sad day because it was the anniversary of the passing of one of her children who was killed in an accident. And it was so dreadful. He'd been coming home from school and he was waiting for the bus. It was raining and he had an anorak up, the hood up. And he turned to look at the traffic, but the anorak hood stayed where it was. And he walked out in front of a car, got thrown in the air to the other carriageway and then run over. Oh dear. Anyway, she said they'd spent the day, they'd been to Filey, because he loved Filey, and then she'd been walking along the cliffs, just lost in her own thoughts. Now, I had briefly, when she first moved in, mentioned that she believed in life after death. So I told her about the little boy I'd seen. She said Alex was his name. That was his new school jumper that he'd got on, and she has a picture on a mantelpiece of him wearing it. And she said, thank you so much. Well, I was tearful because that is so sad. And I went in and I was impressed to write. So I wrote some verse. It always comes in verse. Usually I've been putting music to it, but I'd like to read you this. I know it's been on before, but you didn't know the history. I did put it on once on YouTube. Mum, I was there and holding your hand. You're never alone and you understand. I'm caring for you just as you cared for me. We spent lovely hours down there by the sea. I watch as you care for others so well. I love you much more than these words can tell. I'm part of the family, I'm part of our home. You talk to me often when you are alone. I often reach over and I kiss your cheek. I know you can feel me, although I can't speak. I'll be here forever till you come to me. I'll help you through hard times if they're meant to be. Please don't be sad or I'll be sad too. I'm happy, I'm well, and just waiting for you. Now, I took it straight round to her. I was very emotional, so I couldn't say anything. I just put it into her hands. And she later rang and thanked me and said it had helped her more than I could understand, because that was how he would have been, that was what he would have said. And his grandmother was round at the house as well, and she agreed. So we've become close friends since then. But I do hope there's someone out there who can also get the benefit of that proof, because that lady will vouch for me. And I'm going to put more of these videos on. I won't do it all at once because that wouldn't be good. I'm going to look back since I was born a long time ago and try and write down everything I can think of that was spiritual, and I'll put it on here for you. And I really do hope that I can spread some love and help. Thank you.